we're going through sort of a little bit of that evolution right now with all the tools that are coming out.
100%. No, I couldn't agree more. So let's get into this meaty stuff around AI that I know you and I have both had some previous discussions on. So, how do you think businesses can approach AI and really automation? So, if we think AI automation and that sales process automation, how do you think they can approach that to actually drive real efficiency in their business? So, without getting caught up in the hype that we are literally experiencing right now.
Yeah, and I know it can be really overwhelming. Like it can even be overwhelming for someone like me even, and I'm sure you because like there's something new. Probably as we've been speaking, there's probably been what 10 SaaS that have been launched since we've
Spot
been
on.
speaking, right? Right. So I know it can be very overwhelming. So this is what I usually let entrepreneurs know and business owners know. I said, first of all, embrace part of this as play and experimenting. Like, even if you set aside half an hour just to play with it and don't expect anything, like just to see how something works. Give yourself permission to do that. And then it won't feel so, I think, like frustrating either when you start to dive in and really trying to make it do what you want. Because in that mode of playing, you'll just get used to, like, okay, what buttons to push, or this tends to happen. I do find that a lot of the AI tools tend to follow a sort of like a similar interface, even like the very technical ones as well. So if you can actually just try just a handful of them, you'll start to kind of get used to all the other new ones coming on the market. So that's the first thing I say is embrace the play part of it to adjust your expectations that it's going, I always say it's kind of like making pancakes. Usually when you make your first pancake, you have to throw it out. So this is like your pancake, mode right here,
You know what?
right?
That's very reassuring because I was talking to a client yesterday saying I've literally spent, I think, 20 hours in the last week just in these AI platforms and really immersing myself and understanding the pros and the cons and then really starting to create some things. And I think that's a great analogy is that first pancake is just not going to look good. It's not going to taste good. You're going to have to throw it out. So very,
Exactly,
yeah.
because I've seen people try it and go like, "Oh, this doesn't do what I want," and then they just say AI is horrible. I'm not going to try it. So if you come into it with that perspective, then I think you'll get a lot more out of it. The second thing is I think really understanding how AI, and I'm glad you said AI and automation together, because I find that's the trick, right? To really get what we want out of it. I find that for business purposes, you need to understand really how it can benefit your business. And a friend of mine told this to me, and I've never forgotten it. He said it solves the golden triangle. So, have you heard of that term before, the golden triangle?
No, please share.
So, well, okay. So when I mean, and even in your own business, right? And I'm sure with your clients, whenever
Mhm.
you're trying to make decisions about how to execute, you're either trying to figure out how you can do it cheaper or faster or better. And what happens if you find a cheaper way? What usually do you have to sacrifice?
Well, you have to say sacrifice quality, right? Straight away, you
Right?
know that you're going to be sacrificing quality.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. And it might be faster and cheaper,
Mhm.
but you're probably sacrificing quality. So if you pay more for quality, what are you probably sacrificing?
You're probably paying, sorry, then probably it's going to cost you more, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And it'll probably be slower. Right. But
Yep.
the cool thing with AI, and I've noticed this too, almost every AI and automation sequence or workflow that we put together, it pretty much solves it. It makes it better, faster, and cheaper. And even if we make it cheaper and faster and maintain the standard, we're actually happy with that, right?
Hmm.
Because then we're still leveling up because then we can do things more urgently, we can do it at volume, and then we as humans can actually focus on higher level activities and strategies. So when you understand that, I always tell people measure what you want to test against that. Is it going to help make whatever it is that you want to do better, faster, cheaper? So yes, play, have it create, I don't know, like a vegan hamburger recipe for you or something like that, right? Or write a like there's an AI called Suno, which is so much fun to use. Have you tried it? You can
Suno.
make songs with it. Suno, Suno.ai. And
Okay,
like
I'll
my
check it
son
out.
used it to, oh my gosh, you could probably do it like here live if we want to, but you can make songs with it. Okay. So this is an
Wow.
example of just how it helps you to use it. But like my son made a song in the style of like samba about a boy who loves macaroni and cheese. Like, and it was just so much fun
Wow.
to see
Yeah.
what comes out of it.
And super
But at the same
creative.
time, you're learning prompts.
Hmm.
You're learning how, like, oh, it didn't actually come out the way I wanted it to,
Yep.
right? So that's part of the play part. But then a business will be like, well, why would I need this? Well, okay, now you don't have to hire somebody to create a jingle, right? Or if you have a podcast like this, you could actually use it to create a podcast intro and
Mhm.
test different ones of those, right? Or even test it on ads. I do a lot of Facebook advertising and I love to test. And testing music is actually not something I do a lot of because usually, as you know, with ads, it has to be the royalty free music. You can't use the good tracks, you know?
That's
So,
exactly right.
right. But you could use this to write your own, and it's pretty good. They give you the singers, the whole orchestra, like everything in any style you can think of.